about it. I know I've already done one video on this recently, but I'm still fascinated by it and I want to talk about it more. The concept that it can be racist for an actor to play an ethnicity that he or she is not. So if that's where the terms yellowface come from, where someone who is white plays an Asian, or blackface, someone who is white who plays someone who is of African descent, or brownface, where someone who is white plays someone who is Indian or Mexican or someone with darker skin than what would be considered as white. And then I guess even then, some people might argue whether Mexicans are white, because that's a whole different thing. I don't really want to get into that, but if we need to, I can make a video about it. I probably already have, to be honest with you. All right, but my question is this. Who could I play in a movie or on a TV show and not be racist? By the way, I just had a flashback to when I was in college. They did the play like Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer, or whatever it is. And where I grew up, at that particular community college where I took some classes, they needed someone who was African American. And none of the students who were African American wanted to be in the play, so they got a guy who was a Mexican American. He was Mexican. And so they had him play someone who was African by default, because they didn't want someone white to play someone who's black. So it was like, by default, less racist for a Mexican to play someone who is African American. So it's confusing, and there's no real rules we can go by to be safe. I say all that as this sequel to the other video I made about this, talking about racism in playing an actor, a character, if you're of a different race. What I want to ask you of this as a follow-up is this. What nationalities, what ethnicities could I play if I were in a movie or a sitcom or a play? Now, considering I was that character and they gave me a name to match it. Because like the movie Argo, for example, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck played someone who was of Spanish descent. Yet he's not of Spanish descent. And I think it might have even been a Mexican American he was playing, if I'm not mistaken, right? Though he's not Mexican American, he's not even Spanish descent. So he's like, I think, Scots Irish for the most part, Ben Affleck. But he won these awards for Argo by playing a Mexican American. And correct me if I'm wrong if it's not a Mexican American. Maybe he was just of Spanish American but of Spanish descent because of the last name. But I'm pretty sure he was Mexican American, the actual person he was playing. So Ben Affleck got away with playing someone who was Mexican, even though he's not Mexican. And no one really saw that as racist, apparently. Okay? So, same thing with me. Change my name. Make my name Andrew Silva, which I think Silva is Spanish, Portuguese, right? Okay? So I am, because my mom was a quarter Mexican, you know, the DNA test results show that I'm something like close to a quarter Spanish is what it showed up, right? So can I get away with playing someone with the last name of Silva? Can I be someone who is of Portuguese or Spanish descent? When you look at me, can I get away with that without it being racist? I think a lot of people would say I could. Could I get away with playing someone who's a Mexican American? And what if I had a little bit of a Mexican accent when I spoke? Would that make me racist? I mean, after all, there are people in Mexico who would have my skin tone. Maybe it wouldn't be the normal, but there would be some. Or could I play someone who was from the country of, is it pronounced Chile? Not Chile? Because like the guy who was Hurley on Lost, he's of Chilean descent, right? But his skin is lighter. Like, what nationalities could I play without it being racist? And what nationalities would I become racist if I did? Like, for example, I'm a little bit African. I'm like 1%, okay? I am something to the effect of, I don't know, I had a great grandfather who was like half Middle Eastern and half Jewish. Can I play someone who's Jewish? Probably pretty easily, because I already look like Fred Savage, as well as his brother Ben Savage. Of course, I'm referring to the Wonder Years, Fred Savage, and not How I Met Your Mother, Boy Meets World, Ben Savage. They're Jewish, and people have compared me to them throughout my life. So I think very easily I could play someone who's Jewish, but then people say, well, I can see why, Nick, because Jewish people are considered white. So you're not playing outside of your race on that one. Okay. Can I play someone who's Middle Eastern? Or is that racist? Because I am part Middle Eastern. My great-grandfather was like half, so can I play someone who's Middle Eastern, or is that racist? So it's interesting. I'm just curious. You tell me in the comments, what nationalities do you think that I could play without being racist? Whereas which other ones would I be considered racist? In my own opinion, I think I could get away with playing someone who's of Spanish and Portuguese descent, probably even for the most part South American. Brazilian, I think I get away with. Chilean, I think I can get away with. Maybe Argentina. I think I can get away with playing a lot of characters from someone in South America. We might be stretching it when we're talking about Central America or even Mexico or, Panama, something like that. It'd be obvious that I was beyond that ethnicity. I want to know though, just out of curiosity, and I'm asking to prove a point, and that is all of us feel comfortable to a point in seeing someone play a different ethnicity, but then we end up crossing the line. What would be on the safe side of the line and which would be on the dangerous side of the line as far as me playing a different ethnicity, someone whose character had a name that matched that nation of origin or that nationality or ethnicity? I'm wanting to learn. I'm open-minded. I'm here to not be racist. I'm here to be the opposite of racist, which is someone who is so intrigued by other cultures and ethnicities that he learns by asking these questions. But with me being mixed the way I am, it's all really kind of based on everyone else's perspective on what they think I can get away with playing. When you're of such mixed ethnicity as I actually am, again, on my dad's side, his test hasn't come back yet. He's taking one, but apparently he's mainly Dutch and German and a little bit French. My mom, half Mexican, and then the other half Middle Eastern and Jewish. So I'm a little bit of those things, but I'm not just simply a normal white guy. I think there's some leeway there that I could play other parts. So I'm really trying to sort this out. I've done all I can do. Now I'm enlisting your help in the comments. Help me out, please.